Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are here again. We are going to do another video again on the Ford Ranger. Right there, Ford Ranger. And we're going to do some lights install on it. We got sent those lights. I will go over all that and pretty much get into it, but we got these lights from Hawkglow. Here's the box. It looks a little banged up and thrown around. So we're going to go ahead and unbox them now. Me and Cody each got a set. So there's 4 pods in here. Now they do have 2 separate ones in here. We'll get to that. And currently, obviously, we got a lot of projects going on here. And not enough time, obviously. So we're going to go ahead and open these bad boys up here. So that kind of gives us a good comparison on how good and durable these lights are, because this box is already banged up and stuff. So we'll see how it is. The product manual here. Here is the little product manual. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Okay. So there's a daytime running light, a low beam, and a high beam on these lights, which I did not know. That's pretty cool. And we've been talking to this guy about these lights, and he's been filling us in. And I've looked online at them and a couple things, some spec sheets. Question, how to get rid of moisture and condensation. Wow, see, I didn't know that. There's a little cap on the back there. That's pretty cool. Okay. And they are waterproof, so that is cool. And it looks like they come with a harness with a switch and a relay, it looks like. Alright, so let's get these things opened up here. Wow. And we got lots of mounting hardware, also, and Allen keys to use. Here is the harness. Nice factory looking plugs. These are actually really similar to what they use on big trucks, which I'm pretty familiar with. So we actually build these plugs and stuff on big trucks. It's kind of funny because they're exactly the same as they go on a Peterbilt 337 on the fender light, the fender extension for a turn signal light. That's funny. Exactly the same plug. And some extra wire here, and connectors, and some more hardware. So here is, okay, so they have orange covers on them. This is the ring style, it looks like, light pods. Pretty cool. Wow. Get one of these bad boys out. Now, they're pretty heavy and stout. Wow. Pretty nice. There's the plug. Okay, and then we got an extra little connector here, and here's a little cap they're talking about to release the moisture. These are all aluminum, it seems like, construction. Wow, they're actually pretty nice. They're the reflector style LEDs on modern cars and stuff on their headlights. These are actually really nice. I like these, nice size. That's cool. Let's go ahead and get the other ones out. Alright, so we got the second set here, and same thing goes. We got the product guide here and the wiring instructions and all that stuff, which is really cool because they kind of color code it for you with high beam, low beam, negative, daytime running light, which is really cool. I did not know they had a high and a low beam. That's really neat. So these are the Aero style, and again, this is really cool because they come with these little covers over them, amber covers. So if you're not allowed to run off-road lights, or you need a cover on your off-road light, or whatever the case, you can put this cover over it, or even turn the whole light amber. And then they have cutouts for the daytime running lights. So in this case, these daytime running lights are a little arrow, and then the other ones, which I got, are a circle style. And of course, it comes with all the mounting hardware again, and the whole harness and the switch and all that, which it looks like it's pretty long again. So that is awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to get these installed. These are going to look sick. I could not wait, so I just temporarily wired these up. Now, it does have a double switch for on and off, and it is lit up. And it does have 2 relays, one for high, one for low. And the extra wire coming off of here is the DRL, the daytime running light. So there's a sneak peek at that one. So you'd have to wire that into whatever you'd like a separately, whatever got power, maybe your daytime running lights on your car already, or maybe a separate switch or whatever, the case being. But so here, there is the low beam on. All right, and then it turns the DRLs on when you turn the lights on. And then there is high. Wow, so it lights them both up on high. Low is just the bottom one, and then high is both. These are pretty cool, and it looks like they throw a nice beam. So this is just a little temporary hook up on a small battery here just to kind of show you. It's pretty easy. Just plug them in. On this one, it has a yellow wire for the DRL, and this one is with a yellow tracer with a green wire. So that's really cool. The harness is very nice. It's all coated in like nice factory flexible stuff. You know, there's not bare wires sticking out. There's also a fuse and the double relays, which you can hear them obviously clicking. This is awesome. Big, nice posts for your battery terminals. So I can't wait to get these things mounted on. It looks like also you can either mount them on the top or the bottom, whichever one like works best for you with the wire running out of it, which is awesome on this mount here, and it pivots. So this would be like your main mounting surface here, and then it's on this pivot on 2 bolts, which is awesome. Here is the manufacturer website on these lights. Now you can use code TIPSY15 for 15% off your order on their website. So that's cool that they gave us a code to use. We're kind of going through, you know, again, what I kind of already covered on the website, kind of just showing the features of them, like the heat dissipation, the different chips they have, how it comes with a wiring harness, and the diagrams, and the IP68 waterproof capability. Now, that is wrong. They are not 4.5 inches. They are actually 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I measured them. That is the actual light size itself. It says 4.5. They're about 120 bucks a piece. Well, for the set, I shouldn't say a piece. And it says about all their LEDs and all that. It gives you, you know, they're white, they're square. It's made of aluminum, quartered electric. I guess it's 4 pounds. They're 172 watts per pair with a 10 amp fuse, obviously. They have a 270 degree wide lighting angle for superior vision. There's a 3-in-1 multi-function. So you get like, you know, 3 lights out of 1, I guess. It's a 6500K white light, and then the 3000K amber running light. Now, they do come with covers also, which I showed you, that you can put over them. As you can see in this diagram here, it does have long distance lighting. Yeah, they're fairly easy to install. Here's a couple different applications. You can put them on a dirt bike, quad, side-by-side, a Jeep. Here's what you get in the box. The 2 off-road lights, the 2 amber covers, the extension cables, the upgraded wiring harness kit, the brackets, 2 wrenches for both sizes, and an instruction manual. And they actually have a 2-year warranty. Without further ado, I mean, it was my birthday last weekend, and I got this sweet Ford light-up sign that I've been wanting, like, for probably 4 years now. I seen it at the beach, and I didn't get it down there, and now I could, so I did. Pretty cool. Kind of looks like neon. Obviously haven't hung it up yet. Here's my quad all covered in stuff and tires and other projects. I had to put some U-joints in the F350. You know, there's just non-stop stuff going on. No, I did not get the diff cover on yet. That one's coming. I would like to do a legit test video on that still. That's why I really haven't gone on yet. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these light videos. Man, that might need some lube. See if I can do this one-handed. Oh, I did it. Put the old proper rod up here. Man, I gotta get the shock upgrade that goes on here for these. They make them about 100 bucks. I forget the company though. I know I reached out to them, but that would be helpful. Here we are to do the general overview on the installation on these. I mean, this is pretty general because obviously this is on a Ford Ranger. You could put these lights on anything. So you can put them on, you know, a quad, a truck, a side-by-side, anything, a Jeep, any vehicle, really. So this is just kind of general. I'm not going to go over the full thing with you, you know, step by step. I'm just going to kind of go over how I did it. So obviously, I had to, well, I didn't have to. I kind of wanted ditch lights, but whatever. I'm not going to tell you the real reason why I didn't go ditch lights, but, you know, my wife. But anyways, so you see them back there. I tucked them in behind this grill because, as you can see, if you watch my other videos, I just got this grill, so I wanted to still utilize it. Now, there is 2 spots right here, M6 nut certs, made into this like front crash bar here. Now, the brackets did take some modifying to get the lights to sit back in like that. Now, the brackets are really kind of interesting, so mounting them in a lot of places is just not possible. So you're probably going to have to modify some stuff, maybe make your own stuff. You know, use your head, be a little creative. So there you have that. So pretty much I took both the wires, because you've seen the factory plugs right here. I did not run the DRLs because I'll tell you why. If I had the DRLs on, daytime running lights, the orange would really clash with my green grill lights, and as cool as it seems to light up this orange, I don't think that would look real cool going down the road with orange and then green. So maybe I'll get another light to put in here and light up green. I was hoping, you know, you can get green DRL lights, but you know, this is what we got, so we used it. So I ran the harness in up here. Obviously I had all this apart and ran it up behind all this here. Follow the finger. So as you could see in the earlier clip that there is two relays, so I put them both here. I grounded them both to the rad support. They are under here, and I have the fuse right here. As you can see, I do not remember, I think it's a 10 amp fuse, but do not hold me to that. Let's open this and see. Yes, 10 amp fuse. You can see that. So I put it right there, nice and accessible still. I did not want the fuse under here because obviously you're going to take this all apart to access the fuse if it's something simple like that. I also did ground it under here where I have my grill lights grounded. Same spot. It's a good ground, obviously, so I used it. Now this is the power wire. As you can see, I ran everything kind of behind here, under here, and it's on one of these posts right here. So, see? Perfect. So then I took the main. So I pretty much bundled up all the wire, stuck it behind here. I only have enough right here to go to the lights. If you look really close, right there, I know it's hard, right there, there's the wire that I have nice and zip tied up tight that goes to the other light. Now you can mount these either way. You can mount them as the low, now I have them the low beams at the top, but you can also mount them the low beams at the bottom. However you want. You can mount them either way. I don't know if it matters or not. So also keep in mind the daytime running light comes on with the light on also. So I got all that ran. I tucked all the extra wire right in here, zip tied it up real nice right behind this air dam in here. I know you can't really see it. They do give you like a lot of wire in between the lights. So you literally have probably I would say at least 4 feet, you know, if not more, to run these separately. Like there is a ton of wire between the two plugs to run these on, you know, multiple situations. So I have a lot of extra wire. I didn't want to cut it, didn't want to splice it. They give you a nice wiring harness, just tuck it behind there. So then I ran the main switch wire up here. Obviously this is my grill light wire. Back here, along here, and down there. Can't really see it. I know there's not a whole lot of light down there. There's the firewall boot for all the wiring harnesses that go inside the cab. I ran it inside the boot with the other wire, you know, just snaked it in there with I actually used a big long zip tie, and I snaked it in there. You know, you want to use something non-metallic, non-marring. You don't want to ruin your wires, etc. We actually pulled the boot loose and did it, you know. So we got that, and then if you come in here, this is where I ran the switch. So as you can see, I put an H and an L to label it because the switch is not labeled. So now I know this side is the low beams and this side's the high beams. It has a double-sided tape on the back. I stuck it right in this little cubby hole, and I ran it up behind the dash here, and it obviously comes in down here. Let's see if you can see it. Kinda. So like pointing right here. There's the main wiring harness. It comes in with that, and it comes up, and I zip tied it all up with this stuff here, and it comes up behind the dash there. Now that is pretty much the install video. I'll turn them on in the daylight just so you can see real quick, because they will come on all the time. There it is on high beam with both of them lit, and you can see the daytime running lights. So that is the install, guys. One last thing I'd like to mention, it does light up accordingly. So if you have the high on, obviously that red one comes on. If you have the low on, that green one comes on, which is weird because it just says on, off, and there's a light, and I flipped the switch around, so I stuck it in there just like that. It's kind of out of the way, can't really know it's there. It's actually very removable if you want to take it back to stock. So there you have it. Bam. I'm gonna go ahead and turn them on. So there is the low beam. So that's only the low. I mounted them accordingly. So the low beam is on top, and there is the light that it casts once that light shuts off. Okay, go ahead and do the high beam now. Okay, there's the high beam. As you can see, it kind of filled in this spot here and out over here, and then it lights both of them up. So now the bottom ones are on. So that is pretty cool there, how you see them turn on and off. I have the circle ones, not the squares. Or I'm sorry, not the arrow ones. Not the arrow ones. I have like the circle ones. So that is pretty cool. And there is, again, the beam pattern it shows. There's Cody's Ranger. There's it on low beam again, and then high again. You almost don't even need headlights, honestly, the way it casts. All right, and that's pretty much it.